I am back, part 2 of the Moon Babes Monday Night Live. This is definitely a special. We're talking about all the things, and we're going to finish our conversation about Sirius, the Galactic New Year, the Heliacal rise of Sirius, the LionsGate, and let me pin this. The name of this new galactic year is the Blue Lunar Storm. That just says everything. I feel like it just explains everything. It's a year, this starts on the 26th of July. It's the year of reconciling polarity. That's really what that is. And every time I see blue, I always think of Sirius because that's really the thing. Okay, so I'm waiting for some of you guys to come on. I know that it takes a minute. I didn't even check. I hope the video downloaded, but I think it did. So, okay. Think about it this way. I know it's the Mayan calendar, but learn to feel things out. This is how truly you begin to develop the next level intuition. Blue lunar storm. This is the Mayan calendar. So blue, Sirius. Sirius codes that hold the reality. Lunar. Everything lunar is subconscious. Everything lunar is emotional. Okay? Storm. I feel like now we have decoded the year. I mean, you can probably go look it up, but I'm just saying that's a good, solid, right, understanding. So we're reframing, look at what's happening in the world. It's totally right on. We're recoding, reframing, the new information is coming in as we are navigating this, storm, emotional, subconscious clearing. Yeah, that's what's happening. So, okay. This is my year of blue. All the new things I have been feeling to happen to be blue. Yeah, and the blue is also the recoding of the grid. While it was in process, it was literally oh my gosh, I'm having a moment. Can you see it in my eyes? You know how they talk about blueprints? I wonder if that's where it came from, historically. No, there's no way. That had to be with the ink. This is real life processing. It had to do with the copy paper, I think. But it was interesting because the first time I ever felt the new Earth grid coming online, it was a color of blue. It turns out it was Archangel Sandalphon who holds, down his color is blue, and he's at the core of the Earth, and the recoding happened. But in any case, I had a moment. I was like, wait, I wonder if our forefathers knew. That's why they called it a blueprint. Yeah. Anyways. Moving on, let's talk about the things at hand. We're talking about Sirius. So here is the blue. So we were talking about the rise of Sirius in front of the sun, right? This is where the codes come in. So all of these codes, so to recap, we're talking about the LionsGate portal being moved, the energy of it, not the event happens every year. Just the alignment of the Earth, things happen slightly sooner than, they did back in the days because the rotation of the Earth has shifted, which is why there's a million different astrological ways of, looking at things. So with this being said, right now we have Sirius together with the sun and blasting us all of these codes, okay? And we received the first chunk, massive downloads via the eclipse. And it's in our subconscious, okay? So now we're receiving through this process, which is happening right now, which we did the work with Sirius, right, in our encoding. This is where we get to create the new reality. So technically, on the LionsGate, on 8/8, we get massive downloads, okay? If you notice, I call the retreat the rebirth, okay? Which is not a download moment, it's a moment of rebirth. So we're using the knowledge. This is the LionsGate Goddess Retreat that I have set for August 8th for the LionsGate. So it's called the rebirth because we're getting all of this knowledge now, and then what are we gonna do with it? So that's what's happening on the LionsGate. We're gonna figure out how to make it active, right? How to birth ourselves into this new the restructuring of cells, of knowledge, of, all the things that have been coming through. We're going to bring them to life, right? We're going to activate that inside of us. So it's the rebirth. It's it's going to be a physical experience. So it's really cool. I'm really excited for it. So some people were like, hey, why did you not specify that? Well, like I actually get asked these questions, you know, like in the messages. And so if this is something on your guys' mind, right? Like I explain things as much as I feel is in my soul. Like I feel like it's good for you to understand. Like I give you the information that is pertinent as to what's happening with the energy, instead of like being lost in the technical aspects of it, right? So you didn't really know, maybe, or you didn't really understand, you didn't do the research about the mathematics of the fact that the Earth's axis tilted and the precession of the equinox now puts us in an alignment where the pyramids of Giza and the Orion, you know, alignment is happening earlier. And so therefore we should probably look at Sirius now because the degrees match. You didn't know all that, but I, you know, guided you to go to Sirius and to do the work to sync up with the new codes and the new information. To me, that's simpler. It's less complicated. It's less convoluted, right? But, and I also explain a ton of things. So if you read all through the posts, right, they do get explained. But sometimes I don't get too mathematical because quite honestly, it overwhelms me personally. And I speak energy instead of speaking like very specific, you know, some things. Some things I feel like have to be specific in order to structure things correctly, like in the parameters that we've, you know, do. Like, for example, the actual astral travels or the downloadings or clearing of the space. Like, there's some things that, like, you know, it's necessary to frame in a certain way. And then there's some things that just feels like it's just a lot. And sometimes it's more important for me to tell you about the energy than to tell you about the why it's happening. So, and, you know, if you learn to resonate, and sometimes I do, a lot of times I tell you both, but sometimes I only have so much time to like tell you guys, like, this is happening, we gotta do this right now. And so I don't have time to, like, you know, do the write-up. So, but there's a lot of things. And also, you know, I hope that you also follow like an astrology page in addition to me. Like, don't think of me as your astrologer. I read the stars because it makes sense out of the things that I feel. Okay. So that's how. But I don't do the math and the equations and like all of, you know, that stuff. I look at the software, I have the software, you know, and I look at what's happening and I'm like, damn, I know what this means. But in an energy way, in a way that speaks very alive to you. So I don't have all of the, you know, diagnostics behind it. But, you know, that's 12D living in the now. It's not like all of the stuff that happened before. So it's very much like that. So I'm just saying, for support, like if you follow, for example, I don't know, astrology.com, which is like massive, right? Then you'll see and you'll be like, oh, that makes sense why she's saying that, right? You know? And so I'm sure that you follow, if you guys are following me, you're following like other people that are talking about, you know, similar things maybe. And I know that some of you have been really picky, and that's really good. So that's awesome. Kudos to you. And you want to make sure that, you know, you follow people that obviously are in alignment. Otherwise you'll get out of alignment. And I love those of you that have sent me things saying like, hey, look what people are talking shit about the moon. I'm not falling for it. I was like, yes, you guys are awesome. That's awesome. You know, whatever. So things are happening, but you always have to know where your alignment is. Okay. So you'll always know. Yeah. And so if you guys have like astrology pages that you like, that resonate, and you want to like share them, definitely like share them in here. That's awesome. So, oh, there we go. So, okay. So I will connect the dots of astrology and like cosmic weather for you. That's my job. Okay. That's what I speak. I speak cosmos. So my interpretations of what's happening with the planets is obviously very different because it takes into consideration not just the planets, right? Because a lot of times like astrology looks at, hey, this is a planet, this is what it's doing, this is what it means. But for me, it's like, you know, all the things that are going on in the cosmos and everything else that I know comes into place. It's a little bit different. Okay. We're back to the situation of Sirius. So Sirius and the Stargate and the portal and the integration. This is why we're integrating on the 8/8. So instead of sitting there and receiving downloads, right, which it will still happen, But do you know why the reason why it happens is because we hold our reality in place as a massive consciousness. This is a thing that a lot of people have to be very careful when we're like on when you're on the teaching, okay? And those of you that are teaching, you have to be aware of the fact that there's a reality that is truth and one that is a construct. And a lot of people's subconscious plugs into the reality that is a construct. And so then the overall, so you have to take both. It's an equation. You have to take both into consideration. And you have to understand that a lot of people will, even though this is true, a lot of people will manifest on false timelines because the collective consciousness believes this to be accurate. Makes sense? This is the reason why we also see the bullshit stuff that we see in the news. Because the collective consciousness believes it, therefore it manifests. Which is why it's really hard. You have to think that you have an entire planet, okay? Millions and millions and millions of people that are somewhat conscious, and some that are believing into something, and so that creates our reality, okay? So in order to tilt the scales, right, it's like everybody has to believe this. This is why New Earth is not manifest right now, because we all agree that this is what Earth looks like right now. And so it's still looking like this because this is our agreement, right? But the more of us shift and are able to see it higher, and the more the collective actually matches that, then we manifest those things. So that's really how it works. It's a function of the collective. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that we still hold enough consciousness as a planet to receive downloads and information, and magicalness will happen on the LionsGate. Why? Because it's tradition. Okay, and so because it's tradition, the consciousness of the planet will hold magical events to happen on that day. And that's just what happens. And so the people that are smart do it both ways because we're ahead of the game. So we're like, hey, we're going to take the new stuff, right? Not smart. The people that are plugged into the energy of right now, okay? And you're understanding, and you're like in the cosmic consciousness, and you're like, holy shit, I see how this is all playing out. And I'm going to use all the resources that are available to me right now to birth my light body. And so this is what's happening. So we're picking up all the downloads on the way, and we're doing all of this, right? And then as everyone plugs into the LionsGate on that day, guess what we'll be doing here at the retreat? We'll be at the salt flats, weaving together the frequencies of heaven and earth. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. And we're going to use the energy and the gateway that still will be created, because again, this is a collective reality that we create together, and there will be many people doing work on that day. And so we'll still be connecting to Sirius and to everything that's happening, because that day still opens that. But we already used the portal on the other side. So do you see how that works out in very pyramid effect? So we've opened this over here, and then we're going to use it over here. So, and we're building a pyramid here, a copper pyramid. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So everything is pyramid, pyramid, pyramid. It's a lot of things that we'll be working with. It's a lot of clearing out Atlantis, and not clearing out, but healing. I don't feel like clearing is like as appropriate anymore as healing and rewriting timeline. So a lot of things are shifting. It's like, it's a very solid, if you start paying attention to your words and the vibration of things, you'll see that it shifts. And so it's healing the timelines that have to do with Atlantis and Egypt, and reconciling a lot of that. Okay. So, okay. I have too much consciousness, but still can't write songs. I only write what I must do, like tasks and affirmations. So everybody works, you work at the level of consciousness that you can hold, and you do what you got to do. So, you write out the things that you need to write out. For example, writing is not like my forte at all, because I have dyslexia, okay? Which it's not like something I bitch about, but if you read enough of my posts, like, you'll be like, yeah, she didn't write that right. So, it's a thing, but who cares? We all understand the energy of it, and it always works out. So I speak a lot, and I have like a spoken journal, like a voice journal, because I don't journaling, writing, my brain doesn't, and my hand don't coordinate as well. So, we work with what we got. We don't bitch about the things that we don't got. And then that's how we, get better and better and better. So, yay! One day I'm going to go to your retreat. Manifesting Goals 2021. Amazing! I would love to have you, Ash. Yes. So, yes. And there's also going to be a digital option, which, by the way, right now, you have a preview of it. If you click on payment plans, you can see. So there will be a digital option for those of you. Like, I know that certain countries you won't even be, like from Europe, it's a little tricky and stuff, or like other countries, I don't know about like being able to fly in and out. So we are doing a digital retreat. Yay! Am I left-handed? No, I'm right-handed. So is there a day for just the salt flats for those that can't make it during the week? So I have to figure that out, Leslie, because I want to say message me, but now everybody is hearing it. And it's like, there's work that we're doing prior to in order to get to that point, because it's not just like a 2-day retreat. And so we're doing work 3 days prior in order to be ready for that day at the salt flats. And I'm actually going to teach you guys how to hold the frequencies. Okay, so let's talk about this really quick. Everybody coming to the retreats. Damn, I can't hold secrets at all. I got you all selenite wands, okay? So you're gonna get selenite wands. And I'm gonna teach you how to weave heaven and earth together and how to hold, okay? The things that we do in the dance of light, I'm gonna teach you how to do a version of that for yourself, which is like, that's DNA reprogramming. It's amazing. It's like super, super powerful. And so to get to that point and to have you guys be ready for that, we're doing work before. So I really have not like figured out how to make that happen. Unless you're like doing the digital retreat and then like an add-on, like you just have to go through certain parts of it. So we'll have to figure that out. What I do know is that when someone asks me something, there will be other people, right? Kind of like what happened with the soul work on the Goddess on Mission. Like one person asks and then everybody is like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was waiting for. So, let me figure that out. But that's the thing, is that we're doing work in order to be ready for it. So, okay. So, do I think life is like a movie of ourselves? I think life is an experience of like an observation of ourselves. Yeah. And you can look at life like a movie of yourself. Okay, that's my timer. That's my reminder. So I hope I answered your questions. If you have any other questions, you can write them on any of these and we can continue the conversations on the comments about this stuff. Nina says, but I'm coming in person. The flights are being opened. Manifesting. Nina is in Sweden. I am so excited for you to come, Nina. So excited. I love it. She's like, forget what you just said. That's real manifesting power right there. When we're talking about manifesting, it's like, whatever. Hold the reality that you want, okay? Hold the reality that you want. Allow it to manifest for you. Believe that you are worthy of receiving it, okay? That's the important part. Like, believe it, believe it, believe it. And that's the thing, is sometimes you have to have a leap of faith, right? And then the universe supports you. And so it's kind of the conversation that we had before in the first part of the of this Monday Night Live, where, if you believed it all, it would be instant manifestation. Like, how do I say this without saying the whole thing again? So if you believed it all right now, it would be instant manifestation. Like, if we all could believe that right now we got $100,000, that would happen right now, right? It would literally have to manifest from thin air. We're just not trained to do that. We're not quite there yet, okay? But when we can, then, and when we're able to access that level of consciousness, then there's nothing that you need, because you can manifest everything. So do you see how Earth Life was like, oh, that sounds like fun. I should probably work with density, because it's boring having everything you want all the time and everything be like when you're in a state of high consciousness to the point where you're just the isness, right? You're in a place where everything is perfect, everything is magical, everybody understands each other. It just is. You want to have an experience of like, oh my God, I'm gonna not remember how to like instant manifest. I'm gonna not remember what's gonna. Are you kidding me? Like, I want to do that. Sign me up. You know, like it seems like an adventure. It seems like a good idea. It seems like, hey, I'm bored in this state of constant, you know, like isness. I want to do something different. And so this is why we're refiguring that out. So we're like, you know, climbing our way back through the dimensional fields. So that's how we're doing this. And yeah, the retreat starts in less than a month. I am so excited. Okay. So we limited the number to 30 so that we are good and everything is good. And there are, you know, rules and regulations of safety, public events, whatever the hell. So that's the reason why I did this deposit option, you guys, because if you're planning on it, put your name on it. Okay. And because I think we only have like, I don't even know, maybe less than 20 spots left. So find out if you're coming and just talk to your higher self about it. Okay. And yeah, the options are on there. So I'm super excited. The only thing that you have to figure out for you is room. But one of the local moon babes she lives close by and she has like 3 rooms. And so you can also stay with her. So it's like an amazing thing what happens. Some of you have asked me if like, are you bringing friends? Like, are people coming with friends or do you just come by yourself? Either way, you will find soul family here. Okay. And we have so many local moon babes that just love, like, we understand the value of finding your tribe, right? And so many are like offering rides and, you know, whatever, like you need once you're here. I'm 50, this amazing place I live in the middle of nature. Look at that. This is where you're going to be. On the mountain. Like on the other side, it's like my backyard, like you can climb up. That's why there's deers and all sorts of wildlife, but you can climb up. It's the mountain. So that's our backyard. But yeah, 15 minutes away from the airport and 15 minutes away from downtown. So it's amazing. And if you have questions, message me, but you will absolutely come by yourself. This is like one of the things that you do, and then you meet your family here, right? So, and so many of us are already so connected. You know, I feel like I found so many of my, you know, friends, my soul family here on Instagram, because we connect and then all of a sudden, you know, I even found some people that are like in my circle, like my friends on Instagram, and then they live like, you know, 2 counties down, which is amazing. So where am I located? I am just north of Salt Lake City, Utah, in a city called Bountiful. And it's a little tiny, cute town. And if like literally 15 minutes north of Salt Lake in the mountains. So it's like this secret hidden gem. I don't even know why not very many people know about it. I feel like there's gotta be like a secret about it, but it's called Bountiful for a reason. I was like, it is bountiful. It is just lush. It is green. It feels like you're like in Lord of the Rings land. Like sometimes when we go on our drives, in the 4x4 or side by side at night, and we just look around, it's like, that's right here. When you guys see the you know, when we go riding around here, that's literally my neighborhood. It's crazy. It's not like we're going anywhere far. It looks like Lord of the Rings land. It's so green and so amazing. So it is like super healing. Also, yeah, it's magical. I found out my neighbor, as soon as I moved here, and I told this story before, I found out my neighbor was like, oh my God, I came to your retreat that you did at the Salt Flats like a couple of years ago. Do you remember me? I was like, oh my gosh. And so she started telling me all these things about the mountain being magical and the things that happen here in the actual mountain. So her backyard is the mountain too. I was like, no wonder I am here, right? Makes sense. So yeah, beautiful name, huh? So yes. So go and absolutely go and look. I added some more information on the retreat page on the website. Okay, so moonbabetribe.com, and then click on Goddess Retreat. And I'm taking care of like everything. Just bring your clothes. Bring yourself, and then you do need to find like accommodations, and we will help you with that, me and like the local moon babes, absolutely. Okay, but we will feed you, we will take care of you. We got your glass water bottles, we got snacks, we got things like, we got all of that stuff. So bring the things that make you feel comfy. That's what you want to bring. Okay, and if there are things that you have questions about that you don't see listed on the page, just email me and let me know. But yeah, if you feel it, I feel like now the time is here because you can feel the energy and you can feel what it brings, right? After it became very clear after the lunar eclipse, it's like, holy shit, this is exactly the energy that we're working with to get to that next like physical. Whoa. Sometimes things, like all sorts of things magical happen in this house. Yes, my attention is needed in the other room. So my angels are like, they slap me upside the head. I'm like, calm down, people. So yeah, let me know if you have questions. Let's just leave it at that. I love you guys. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be magical. We're going to have a full-blown rebirth experience, and I can't wait. So thank you guys again for joining. If you have questions on the stuff we talked about on the part 1, just keep the conversation going in the comments, okay? We talked a ton about manifesting and about like working with the 12D, grounding in the 12D and what's happening. So we finished the conversation here at the top, and then we talked about the retreat, okay? I love you guys so much. Have an amazing night. Stay on track. This is the week that Chiron goes retrograde, so remember that, okay? I love you all so much. Mwah. This is Sonia G, Moon Babes Monday Night Live. I will see you on the next one. Bye.